Okay, we are going live. We are live on YouTube. I'm Dax Carlisle from the Tarot Guild and Psychic Cafe. Tarot Guild celebrating 20 years. It's like 20 and a half now. Yep. I've got the fabulous Michelle Matheny and certified tarot grandmaster Pamela Steele with me today. Welcome everybody to the cafe. Come on in, grab your coffee and tea, pull up a chair, and we're going to hang out. If you have a specific question, hey, go ahead and just type it in the chat and we'll pull some cards on it. If you don't have a specific question, but you still want a message, just type in, can I get a message from the universe? There you go. You can grab us a cup of coffee at psychic.cafe/coffee. Yes, that's where you can go. It's like our tip jar. So if you're enjoying the shows or if you get a cool reading or something and you want to send us some love, psychic.cafe/coffee will take you there. The link's in chat. And you can also, during, if you're here live, you can send us a super chat too. Yeah, we have super chat now. And Jimmy's here already. He's always first in. Green Earth
Hi, Jimmy.
Creations. Hey, hey. Oh, and they started something new. They're putting these like crowns, and it's like top fans and stuff like that. So my I'm in there as the Psychic Cafe, but also I have my personal one on there, and it's putting number one, and then next to Jimmy it said number two. Jimmy's like the number two fan. He's technically the number one fan because I'm not real. I mean, I'm a fan, of course, but it's like anyway, I don't know how to take myself out of the running. But oh wait, no, Pam, yeah, yours says number one. Hey, yeah, yeah, you're a number one. You got the crown. Michelle, you should love this because you do crown share Saturdays. And you got a crown on today. Yeah.
I just put it on just now as soon as you
Yeah.
said crown.
That is so cool. And then Dr. Rose came in. Hey, Dr. Rose,
Hi, Dr. Rose.
the Mystic Tarot Path. That is her YouTube channel. Yes. We got a cool show for you today. We are talking about three things that will improve your readings as a psychic medium or tarot reader. Hey, before we do anything else, oh, what's Jimmy saying? Still going to join the guild. Banking problems. Oh, don't worry about it. When you're ready, we got a 20% off going right now for 4th of July weekend. If you go to book a session with me or join the guild, or maybe you're already a member and you're clicking the link on the private group for members to get certified, or maybe you're not a member yet and you're getting the membership and certification package deal, which saves you 25%. Well, on all those, you can take another 20% off. There's a coupon code box. It says add coupon. Just type in independence and it will take 20% off automatically. Yeah. So also my course, which includes membership and certification, you can type in independence and get 20% off my course. And then your membership, and that'll all be paid for. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. And Dion sent us a super chat. My landlord's o- owns me. Oh, I think she means
Owes.
owes
I
me
think she means
money.
owes me.
Yeah, she put
Yeah.
owns, but owes me money. She's disputing it. Okay. Do you have a specific question around that you'd like us to, or just you just want us to pull cards on your dispute with your landlord? But if you have something specific, Dion, that's fine as well. And she's saying specifically, Pamela,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see around the situation? Yes. So
Okay.
Pamela's working on it. Pamela's
Um,
working on it. Hey, while you're doing that, let me get the card of the day out of the way, and that'll give you
yes.
time to pull cards
Yes,
and
please.
everything. Yeah. So I'm going to go do the card of the day. Today I got the King of Cups. You know, I don't get core cards a lot when I'm shuffling and pulling for the card of the day for these shows. So it's really cool that the King of Cups showed up. You know, he's the master of emotions and is secure in there. So for some of you listening, the King of Cups is a guide encouraging you to approach situations with emotional intelligence and understanding. It may also be a prompt for self reflection, urging you to find a balance between your head and your heart and to express your emotions with compassion. And for some others of you listening right now, it could indicate a need to take action based on your feelings, but with patience and a focus on emotional regulation. So everybody see how that might fit in. And, you know, if you're watching this in archive 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 months, 2 years, uh, this message is still for you. That's right. The King of Cups. All righty. There we go. And because Dion put in a super chat, we're going to go right to her reading and take it away, Pam.
Okay, okay. The first card I pulled is the Page of Wands. Okay, now this means a message coming out, which is pretty redundant, but it is a message about change and things moving forward more quickly, et cetera, et cetera. So this is where you need to see that it's going to be okay. Do I see her paying you? Yes. Okay, because you got two yes cards. All right. Um,
Yay.
this is the final outcome card. And when you get the universe cards, it's a solid yes, no matter what else is going on around you. But you have to know this. And right now you're doubting yourself. Okay. You're doubting the truth and the honesty and everything else involved in this. Because I mean, landlords, they're it's kind of like banks. They think it's their money. And it's not. It's your money. Okay. Remember that. And how are you going to feel when you wake up in the morning and know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the money is being returned to you? Okay, so take your time, it might take a few days. Okay, so when you go to sleep at night, take about 15 minutes before you go to sleep and really know what it feels like to have the money returned to you. What are you going to see, smell, taste, touch, hear, etc.? How are you going to truly, authentically feel when it comes back? And that will flip this over and make it all better. All right. Because right now you're doubting yourself. You're doubting your ability to get things. Remember this. Um, what's mine returns to me. Always. So, and just keep reminding yourself of that. It's yours. It should be, it should be in your hand, not hers or its, whatever. So just remember that. Remember that what's yours is always returned to you, no matter what else. It always comes back. So there you go. And you've got a really solid yes here. Okay. And this is the difference between, well, maybe she will and maybe she won't. I don't know what her problem is. I can't look into that for you. I wish I could. But just know that you are right in this situation. Right is on your side. Justice is on your side in this situation. And be prepared to get a message regarding that. Okay? There you go, doll. Hope it helps.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we've got a reading request from it's either Piu or Payu, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's give some time for folks to get their questions in the chat, and we'll look at the topic for today. But just like Dion just did, you can either send us a super chat or you can go to just open a new tab in your browser, type in psychic.cafe/coffee, and you can send us a cup of coffee. And if you do that or send us a super chat, we stop what we're doing and we go right to your reading and we'll spend more time with you too. Yeah. So that's the secret way to jump the list or for us to get right to it. Meanwhile, while folks are putting in their questions, or again, you can just request a message from the universe if you don't have a specific question. we're going to talk a little bit about uh, 3 ways to improve your readings as a psychic, medium, or tarot reader. Now, this is not technical how to read better stuff. Okay. This is more broad. Now, if any of my, fabulous co-hosts, Pamela or Michelle, have technical things that they want to throw in, that's perfectly fine. I'm open to that. Um, I have 3 areas I want to look at that I think will help you guys. Now, this is specifically if you're wanting to go pro. If tarot is a hobby, hey, that's great. Tarot's a great hobby. I mean, you can go deep and you can also go a little crazy like Ellie and Michelle, who, have collected 450 decks. You can be a deck collector, you could be into the art, you can get prints made. A lot of decks, their artist creators have, prints available, big ones and smaller ones that you can put on the wall and frame if you want, and things like that. There's a lot of things around tarot, but we're specifically talking about going pro because we are the Tarot Guild. We're here for professionals. Over the last few shows, we've talked a lot about, pricing your services and things along those lines. And so I think this will really help. So the 3 areas or the 3 ways is decision, consistency, and leaving your comfort zone. Oh, okay. So what are we talking about here? So decision. All right. That is making the decision and commitment to go professional. I think a lot of people that are wanting to go pro, it's a want. It's sort of like with the law of attraction. We always say, if you're hoping XYZ happens or you're wanting it, it's just that. It's just a want. That's not putting an intention in. So my first suggestion is you got to commit. You got to make the decision. I'm going pro, and put the time in, and it should be your job, job, to uh, get ready to go pro, get certified, perhaps. We'll talk about that in a minute, and then go professional. But and I know some of you have a muggle job, so you don't have 8 hours a day to work on this, but whatever time you have to work on it, that you're committed to that time. That I've set I set aside this block of time on this day and this block of time on that day. And whether you're doing practice readings, learning about marketing, and that's the other thing I wanted to say. I almost forgot. Under the decision is start seeing it as a business. So many of like our members in the guild, I mean, we've talked to thousands of tarot readers. They're fantastic tarot advisors, life coaches, and readers, but they don't look at they don't look at it as a business. They're not focused on that. So what do you guys think, Pam and Michelle? Any ideas on, committing, making the decision?
Michelle, go for it.
Well, I think that when it comes to being committed to your decision,
Mm-hmm.
um, that you got to have the motivation behind it. And that for me, that's the big thing. So you got to have your intent, and then you got to have that motivation to be committed. And when you stop feeling motivated, you got to go back and get go back to your intent, figure out why you were doing it in the first place, and then remotivate yourself. I think that's the biggest thing with making that decision is getting the motivation.
Motivation. I like
Hmm.
that. But also, some of us should be committed, but we're not talking about, getting committed to
Right. And
Bellevue Mental.
yeah, and Pamela, mine is not white, it's pink, pink glitter. long sleeves. Yeah.
I gotta tell, Ellie just came in. Hi, Ellie. And she says, I hope I didn't miss too much. I said, just starting. We
Yeah.
are just starting. If you're available to join us on cam, pop on up here. If not, give us your pearls of wisdom in the chat and we'll read them on cam for you. And the same thing for you, Dr. Rose and Dan and anybody else with your pearls of wisdom. Put them in there. So, committing, setting the intention. I am going to become a professional tarot reader, or I am, start using it. I am a professional tarot reader. There's a story I often talk about when we are in these kind of conversations about, I don't know if they do it anymore, but the way it was, see, I almost went med. I was pre-med and I wanted to be a doctor, and then I discovered I didn't really like blood. Yeah. And so that's how come I became a counselor and a tarot advisor and a hypnotherapist. I can play with your mind and not have to, suture anything up, stuff like that. But I spent a lot of time looking into it, and I toured medical schools. And so this is going way back because I just had my birthday and I turned 61. So this is going back 30, 40 years, right? And back then you'd be in med school and you'd be in your last years or last year before you become an intern, and then after that you get your residency, right? So you're doing I forget what they call it. It's the rounds where you're going to all the different departments, everything from surgery to psychology and psychiatry, with the MD. And you're going through all spending time in all those things, and your instructor is taking you and a bunch of other people around to look at cases and things like that. Well, they have you all dress in the white lab coat. Nowadays it's scrubs and everything, which I don't particularly like. I actually like the white lab coats and the stethoscope around the neck and everything like that. And they call you doctor, even though you haven't graduated yet. But they call you doctor, and then you do graduate and you are a doctor, and you go into internship, and again it's doctor. They're getting you ready for this. It's bringing the future into the now. Yeah. And that's something, we don't do in this field, which is, I've threatened to do a program on building confidence. And part of that is using hypnosis and NLP to get it where it's now, not in the future sometime. But you can start doing that until we're ready to do the program. You can start doing that now, and get the business cards printed up, and get your URL for your website. Little things. And just when people ask you, even if you're still in the practice stage, I'm a tarot advisor. Now, the second thing here is consistency, and that's part of making, what we said before with the first one, making the decision, committing, setting the intention, and then there's the consistency. So one of the things, I've talked to some folks about going pro, and what they said that what really did it for them was they enrolled in a course or two or three and committed to getting through the course and completing the course, and then starting and not waiting to the end to start their practice readings, but and then their practice readings. And then being consistent with your practice readings. Can you block out time and commit to that time? And after you've driven your family and friends crazy with the practice readings, you can go on our Facebook group, and there's a lot of other big groups out there too, like Understanding Tarot. That's a really nice group, like 60,000 people. Go on there and say, hey, I need somebody to practice with. and being consistent about that. Um, then there's part of the consistency I threw in the perfectionism trap. A lot of us, Michelle's laughing like crazy here. Uh, are you guilty of some of these things, Michelle? Um,
Just a little
just
bit.
a little, just a little, we think we need to be perfect before we go professional. And that's not true. We talked on a recent show about doing practice readings and how, some of the old organizations, it was like you need to do 100 practice readings and write 78 essays, one on each card, and blah blah blah. What our suggestion was on I think it was the last show we made that suggestion. I said do 20 practice readings, and then when you're done, reevaluate. Okay, where am I? How am I feeling about this? If you need, do another 20 practice readings and then reevaluate again. Okay. This is also when doubt is going to start creeping in. So, what do you guys think about, all those things, committing to practice, perfectionism, um, taking a course? Oh, another thing I wanted to mention was get a mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why the guild is around. So you have all of us as mentors. But doubt, you guys have any ideas about that? Doubt's going to creep in. Comparing yourself to other people, other readers. What do you think, Pam?
Basically what you're doing in the beginning is building confidence.
Mhm.
Okay, confidence in your skills. Like I never set out to be a tarot reader. I was just one of these someone would ask me a question about something that was really out in left field, and I would simply answer it because instead of consulting anything, it would just pop into my head, oh, this is what needs to happen. And I mean, I'd done a lot of research on a bunch of different topics at that point about probably centered around divination. But the two things I found was one, keeping a journal. And that's going to give you the best feedback that you've ever had when you're really starting down this path.
Great
Because
suggestion.
as you write, okay, what I actually did my cousin grabbed me by both ears and said, "You will buy it. You will get a tarot deck, and you will read tarot." And I went, just because she can
Okay.
sometimes. And what I found was my instinct at first was, okay, I know I'm not going to remember all this, so I got one of those spiral bound, lines on it and everything, and I started putting the date. If I used a spread, which spread did I use? And D, all the above. And I went through the whole protocol. I would put down which card landed in which position. Was it upright? Was it reversed? And I had one book on tarot written by, oh my goodness. I think it was one of the Waits only first, well, the book that he wrote to
Oh,
go with.
pictorial key?
Thank you. That's the one I
Yeah.
got. Yeah, in fact,
Arthur Edward Wait.
AE Wait. Yeah, and I actually, what I did with my very first book, because I was wearing out so fast, I covered it in suede leather. So it's still around. It's blue now. No cover except that. Anyway, what it came down to was I would write these notes and I would consult my book and then I would give it my impressions. And then I would, like just go about life. And I did this every single day, but inevitably it could be a day, a week, a month, even 3 months down the road, something would happen and click. Wow, that's what the cards were telling me. So I go back, find that particular spread that I did on that particular day and make more notes. And so after 5 years, I began to realize that you know what? These things are spot on. I'm just, I need to trust. The first person I had to trust was me. I had to trust my instincts. I had to trust my intuition. And journaling gave that to me for me. Okay. Just because I could go back and see where I had written these ideas, etc., down or these thoughts down. And it was right. It was absolutely right. So I'm going, oh, that's pretty cool. And don't let anyone derail you. Like if you're going, and I'll give you an example here. Um, I'd been reading for about 20 years, and a woman sat down across from me, and I was doing a reading for her, and out of the blue, it was a Queen of Wands card. And I mentioned to her that she had there's something in her past about a big orange cat, not a black one, a big orange cat, and started talking about this cat, and she got really mad. I
Mm,
hate cats. I will never own it. I've never had a cat. She actually blew up, stood up, and walked out on me. And I went, oh, well, that was fun. But I couldn't get over the feeling right in here that I was right. And do you know that woman called me 3 days later? She called me at work in tears, in sobbing tears, saying, okay, you were right. I'm wrong. I'm coming into pay. And she left me a $20 tip and said, when I was a child, very, very young, there was a big orange cat on the farm, followed me everywhere, did everything with me. My dad hated that cat because he wouldn't let anything happen to her. He was very protective of her. And that cat disappeared. And they say he ran away. And she knows damn good and well to this day her dad killed it. And
mm,
that hurt so deeply that she hated cats and she never wanted another cat in her life. But after she got telling me this about her reading, she said everything broke loose and I went and adopted a yellow cat today. And I went, good for you, you know? So, I mean, it does work, but you do need to rely on yourself more than anything. You're going to get good and bad reviews. Well, maybe not bad reviews, but people arguing with you. Stick to your guns. If you know you're right, you know you're
mm.
right. And it's that kind of confidence, it's the honesty, it's the clarity that evolves the more you read, that you just, and it's all about them. Like I'm not going to tell them my stories because they really don't care. And I really don't want to share anyway. And then it's also about self-empowerment. You're trying to empower them so that their journey can be a little bit more significant and move smoothly, a little, well, probably not smoothly, but anyway. And it's about self-mastery. So until you've done these things, until you have empowered yourself and mastered yourself and gained that confidence, it's really hard to show somebody
Mhm.
else the path. So every horrible thing you're going through, remember that this is a template, something you're going to need down the road to counsel someone else on their path. And
Yeah.
that's all.
Yep. Oh, real quick shout out. First name, last name just came in. Haven't seen first in a little bit. Also, we have a show coming up on the 27th of July, how to get stubborn clients to listen to you. So that'll be that kind of goes in dovetails nicely into some of the stuff you said, Pamela. And then on the confidence front, Michelle's doing a show moving forward with confidence on Saturday, July 19th. So all this stuff is, and by the way, we didn't sit down have a conference and decide all of these things. It just,
It's organic.
Michelle has her own show and she's setting up her topic. Actually, she set up her topics like 6 months ago for the entire.
Yeah.
I have the list all the way through the year, and it's just, it's the wonderful synchronicities of the universe. Everything's just dovetailing nicely together. Michelle, do you have any thoughts on consistency or any of the things we talked about before the
Yeah.
third thing? Before I go to
Well, consistency is really hard sometimes. I am actually going through it now. I'm
especially when you
doing
have life.
it exactly. I am trying to do my Reiki lessons. I
Mm-hmm.
got through the first level and life.
Mm-hmm.
So, consistency during your time when life happens, even if you only have 5 minutes and you can't go forward,
Mm-hmm.
don't forget, take 5 minutes to just keep going over what you've already learned so that you don't forget before you move on.
Yes.
And that's a
And
good way to stay consistent without moving forward.
right, but I'd like to tack on to because something that you said there, um, for some people that are, really good at multitasking, they can, do it that way. But some of us, like myself, like I'm a good multitasker. I can do, technical things and be doing multiple things at once, but not something that, again, I've committed to that is a main thing. You may have main things. You mentioned, Reiki as an example, and you're also doing a deck, writing a book, going pro, all these different things. If you want to go pro, and get really good at doing readings, it's not just the consistency of doing the practice readings and getting all that in, taking the course, going through the certification process at the Tarot Guild, maybe, and making the decision, committing to it. But, and actually, it's part of the commitment is that for some, not for everyone, but for some of us, you really got to put some things on the back burner.
Yeah.
If your goal is to be a professional reader and you have these other things you want to do, you want to become a Reiki practitioner, hypnotist, write a book, create a deck, all these things. Sometimes you have to make the commitment to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pick the thing that makes your heart sing. So if you want to go professional and get better at readings, other than your commitments at home, family and friends, if you have a muggle job, your job, other than those big chunks of your life, whatever time left, it should be committed to seeing this through, becoming professional, doing the courses, doing the practice readings, getting the confidence, learning the keywords, and all of that, doing the journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to put other things on the back burner, because I see people trying to do too many things. And what that means is you're not really then committed. You haven't really made the decision to go pro. Because if you've made the decision to go pro and that is what you want, that's got to be your main focus. You got to see it all through and go professional before, and start to become successful at that before you do all the next things on your back burner. Now, lastly, and I know some of you out there are probably, how's this helping me with my reading? All of this will help you with your readings. Committing, making the decision, being consistent, and this third one that we're going to do now, which is leaving your comfort zone. And Ellie said something in the chat that fits in really good. I might have to scroll back. It was back when we were talking about perfectionism, and Ellie said perfectionism is a killjoy. Trust the messy gut. Trust the messy gut. So leaving your comfort zone, part of that is trusting your intuition as you're pulling cards. Yes, I think everybody should learn the keywords. You should learn the history of tarot. If you're going to be a professional reader, you are de facto going to be an expert. And anything that you practice, if you're going to be a hypnotherapist, you should be an expert in the mind and hypnosis. If you're going to be a life coach, you should be an expert in that. Same thing with tarot. You should know the history, at least a little bit of it. You should know a lot of the decks, the popular decks that are out there, so you can be conversant about, oh yeah, that's Marseille, and that's Rider-Waite, and most of the decks we have are based on Rider-Waite, and Arthur Waite was this guy, and Pamela Smith was this designer, and you should know where the tarot started and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you should know the keywords, you should know the structure of the deck, all that kind of thing. But until you start trusting your intuition, not just laying down a card and saying, okay, the keyword for the 5 of Wands is conflict. I mean, instead of that, you should be laying down multiple cards and can you tell a story? Can you tell a story? And for a lot of you, it's leaving your comfort zone to trust your intuition. You're not trusting the gut. You got to listen to your gut. You got to listen to your intuition to become a better tarot reader. Other parts of leaving your comfort zone are like what we talked about before, becoming visible. What do you do? Oh, well, I'm a tarot advisor. And if you join the guild and get certified, you can say, I'm a certified tarot reader. and tarot advisor. I do life coaching. Maybe you have, and we talked about this, I think, on the last show and over the last few shows about, you tell them about your niche. I help women between 45 and 65 uh, meet their dream lover or something. I mean, I don't know what it is. I help female entrepreneurs between 35 and 65 build their business to 10K a month, or and I just happen to use tarot cards, because people don't really care how you're solving the problem. They care that you're identifying with their problem and you're helping them solve it, and they don't care about the modality. But yeah, getting out there, getting the business cards made up, handing the business cards out, brochures, whatever you're going to do. um Not a big fan of brochures for tarot, but unless you have a niche and you want to talk about the niche in your materials. But becoming visible, not being afraid to, you get stuck in an elevator with somebody, and I'm a tarot advisor. That's leaving your comfort zone. Also, um, Pam, Michelle, do you guys have any other things about, leaving your comfort zone?
You just got to be brave or
Mm-hmm.
stupid or a little of both. Um,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I've been asked to read at some of the things that my first instinct was, are you serious? But then, there's this, yeah, it'll be okay. Um, and God bless him, my husband is one of the best in the world for finding venues for me.
Mm, mm.
I don't know when he decided to do this, but he's actually lined me up with a store about an hour away. On Saturday the 19th, I will be there, and they're already advertising for me.
Wow.
Uh, Wonderful little store, and they're already booking for me and everything else. And bring your decks. We want to be able to sell those too. And I'm thinking, okay, this just
Wow.
worked because um, I mean, right now, there's a lot going on online. A lot of readers, that's how they're making their clientele is
Mm.
online. Personally, I don't mind doing online readings. It's kind of fun, but my forte, my first love is sitting across the table from someone and reading cards,
Because
pulling
when we
cards.
started, there was no internet.
What was it? Yeah, it was sort of a pipe dream. It was one of those things. Remember the
40 years ago,
Jetsons?
50 years ago.
Oh, come on, there was the Jetsons. Oh, when I was a
Yes.
kid.
Mm.
And I will be 74 years old tomorrow, so I am speaking with authority. Okay?
Yeah.
And that was what he's done is I mean, he keeps finding these different a little psychic fair that was just getting started that they're wonderful people and excellent to work with. And so every time I turn around, he's finding another. So I've got two events this month, which
Mhm.
I didn't have any until he came home and said, "Hey, look what I found for you. Call this lady." Um, and there's the coward in me saying, "I don't really want to talk about it. Like, can I just go see her?" And he says, "Write her an email. You can write." So I did. And the next thing I know, yeah, come and see us. We'd love to meet you. And wow, it was phenomenal. They're wonderful people, wonderful. And
Yeah.
just kind of like finding more of people, more of your tribe, let's say.
Yeah, and that is also getting out of your comfort zone,
Big time.
and of course, right now, obviously, we're talking about you're beyond the stage of learning, doing the practice readings, and now you're confident to start charging money. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And so leaving your comfort zone, you might not be comfortable with, setting up shop, setting up a table at a psychic fair, but that's really going to help your readings if you go and read for a whole bunch. Let's say you do 3 or 4 fairs or something through a month, that you're going to become really good.
Yeah.
you know you're going to read for all these different people with all different kinds of questions and areas for you to look into, and
And
so
it doesn't have to be a psychic fair. It can be a medieval fair. It can be a dress
oh
club.
sure.
It can be a book club. Just
Yeah.
put yourself out there. I do readings. And, like
And yeah.
this is, I'm doing 10-minute readings for like $20 or $10 or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
and
And,
you're sitting and maybe you might only have like 10 people there, but you'd be amazed. I mean, oh, you only 10 readings, but 50 people showed up, and pretty soon you're there till 3 in the morning.
and that's
So
another getting out of your comfort zone is
yes,
approaching business owners. Does your friend own a salon or a spa, day spa? They love to have tarot readers there available to do readings, while they're getting their spa treatments or what have you. Do you have a friend, or do you know somebody, or are you able to step out of your comfort zone and contact the owners of, say, a pub, a
Yeah.
bar, even a restaurant, coffee houses? I start out in coffee houses, and it's like, is it okay for me to sit here and, do some and, some people have a phobia, or they have some other reason why they, don't want that in their establishment. And, you have to be able to roll with the punches and just go, oh yeah, no problem. And then, but you will find people that it's perfectly fine with them, and so that's other
Yeah.
things you can do besides psychic fairs is,
You
spas.
know, and one of the things that I got really nervous about was going into where my daughter works, and there's only one gal in there that does tarot, and the rest of them all think that, and she keeps it quiet. She doesn't tell
Mm,
anybody.
mm.
But the rest of them there all think that I'm evil. I have been told it is an evil thing. I'm evil. It's okay. But they're still really nice to me, whatever.
Yeah.
So I knew she had done tarot. So I went in one day with a coloring tarot book for her,
Hmm.
and she loved it. So she approached me the other day and said her daughter, who is like 29, is having a tarot party, and she doesn't want her mom doing it. So her mom was like, well, the only other person I know is not going to do it for free, but let me give you her business card.
There you go.
So if I had not,
Tarot parties, that's another thing.
exactly. So if
Yeah.
I had not gotten over that and just went ahead and made that connection, and,
Hmm.
if I had just ignored that whole scene because somebody didn't like me, I would have never booked a tarot party.
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's another thing, contact your local talent companies, and so they're
Yeah.
always looking for, besides, magicians and jugglers and all different acts and things to, do for parties. They're looking for tarot readers and psychics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true too. So, uh, I think that's pretty much it.
You.
Those are the three things that I think that will really help improve your readings, uh, by making the commitment, the decision, having consistency in your learning phase and beyond, and then deciding to go pro and start charging and leaving your comfort zone, and, contacting the agencies, contacting local businesses you could do readings at. Where's the psychic fairs? Are you in Arizona where I am? And, you can go to Sedona. um but yeah, all those kind of things. I think it really improves your readings. And I guess I should leave off with, um we talked about getting a mentor, taking a course. We have all that available at the Tarot Guild and Psychic Cafe. So you can enroll in my course, and you will automatically get membership to the Tarot Guild. If you don't need a course, if you're further along, maybe you've already turned pro, you can join the guild separately, and you can apply for certification. We do have a package deal on the certification page, psychic.cafe/certification. Explains all about certification. And at the bottom, there's a purple button you can push to get the package deal that includes membership and certification for 20, I think it's 25% off. And then, of course, with our 4th of July weekend, 20% off sale. You can get another 20% off. You just type in independence in the add coupon on the checkout page there. Yeah. Awesome sauce. So we're going to go back to the chat here. That was really good. I hope that helped a lot of people. I know Piu was asking about, will Tony come back? Can we be friends again? It's one of those questions. So Pamela did the last one. You want to do that, Michelle?
Sure. So I
She's
actually
best at
just
that.
drew cards already.
Cool.
And the first card I drew is the High Priestess. I almost said the two of. And with this card, I feel like you might be maybe a little bit unapproachable instead of letting your guard down, letting your heart down a little bit. um you asked if he is going to reply back. I have the Ace of Cups, but I also drew the Man card. So the Ace of Cups, I'm going to say is a yes card, because I do see the aces as a yes, as this is a new beginning, a new emotional beginning, maybe a new connection, but there needs to be more logic and analytical thinking when it comes to this relationship. Because if you two are going to be friends, there is a lot of things that need to be fixed. You need to take the heartache and make sure that it is no longer renting space in your head. And you may think that's a hard thing to do, and it looks like a hard thing to do, but you can climb that mountain, because you see that little guy down there?
Yeah.
They don't let anything stop them from climbing.
Mm-hmm.
So if
They
he
got
can
the
do it,
horns.
you can do it. And so a friendship
Hmm.
is possible, but you got to heal what is no longer in the heart, but is strictly up in your thoughts. And you need to heal those and turn those thoughts into friendship. And it has to be a
Awesome.
dual thing.
So, first name, last name, just put in, I put my hand up again for a general. We'll get to first name, we'll get to yours in just a second. Want to say hi to Purple Moon Tarot came in, and they say, thank you. This has helped me so much. Very cool. Love that. Um, if anybody else wants a question answered, put your specific question in the chat or ask for a message from the universe, and we'll just pull some cards. First name has been chatting with Ellie and everybody in the chat, and I guess she's in a funk or something, back in her cocoon. A lot of weird stuff going on, so maybe we'll pull cards for that. But before we do that, let's tell everybody what's coming up on the network. So Saturday, July 12th will be our next show. Remember, for July and August, we're taking the weekdays off from doing shows. And let's see, the last we were doing we've been doing shows, Thursdays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Last it was on Wednesdays. We're taking the weekdays off. I've got a website project to work on. I'm doing my hypnosis study. So July and August, we'll still be here, but just on the weekends. And so on Saturdays, unless there's a fifth Saturday when we'll do a psychic cafe show like this, on Saturdays, it's Michelle's Mystic Corner. We take the first Saturday off, and then the second, third, and fourth is Michelle's Mystic Corner. And the next live show after today will be Saturday, July 12th. And Michelle is talking about attachments and outcomes. Yes. And then we will all be back on Sunday, July 13th, next Sunday. And we'll be talking about common myths and misconceptions about tarot. That's always a fun discussion, where we'll talk about all the myths and all the misconceptions. Then the following weekend, Saturday, July 19th, Michelle's Mystic Corner, moving forward with confidence. This is the show that I mentioned that might be good for everybody that's wanting to do that, get more confident, move forward, not just with obviously Michelle's intention was not just with folks wanting to learn to read the tarot or go professional, but that fits in, dovetails nicely to what we were chatting about today. And that Sunday, July 20th, we'll be talking about how to get clients as a psychic, medium, or tarot reader. We did some of that today, and we'll go back over that and then come up with some more ideas about, hey, it's 2025. How are people finding clients? What are they doing? Hopefully, Dr. Rose, are you there? Hopefully, Dr. Rose can join us on that Sunday, July 20th, because, she's the queen of social media, and we'd like to get her insight on that. Yeah. And then I think the next Saturday will be the Crown Chair Saturday. So you guys that are members can come up on screen here with us. I don't have a slide for this, but it's Michelle's monthly show where she's going to pull a card, and we're going to use that card plus what cards we pull. And we're all going to pull cards for all the questions that come up. And you can join us or join Michelle on camera on the Zoom if you're a member of the guild. Another reason to become a member. And then that Sunday, the 27th, we'll be talking about how to get stubborn tarot reading clients to listen to you, which is always a good one, right? Yeah. So, Pamela, did you want to pull cards? See
Or which one?
for first name?
Sure.
She asked for a general, but she said a lot in the chat. You've been reading it about.
Yeah, we've
She's
been
gonna.
going back and forth, and I already told her that if she can contact me off of this platform,
Oh,
then
good.
I can design a protection charm for her with the runes,
The runes, yeah.
and we can go from there. So oh my goodness, darling. And we can go from there. So find me. Wow. What I'm getting before I even pull any cards is that um you need to batten down your own protection. It's like think Star Trek, shields up, that kind of thing, right? And the first card that I pull for you is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace tells me that you need a more solid foundation. Your foundation, you're a little bit shaky, and I realize that you're in a really rough area. We've all been there, but you can be safe. You can be secure. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Your aura of safety can come with you. Your protection can come with you. And you can extend it out. Like I keep mine about 3 feet out. I don't like people touching me that I don't know, especially in a crowd. But for that very simple reason is the you're not attracting it for some reason, but you've got holes in your shields. Let's put it that way. So you need a more solid foundation. It's like if you were going to build a house, you wouldn't build it on quicksand. Okay. Look for the hardest, look for the granite, look for something that's going to really um, build a solid wall for you, but not something so solid that it traps you inside. All right. That's first. Secondly, what has been taken from you, which is your confidence and your security, your safety, is going to be returned. All right. It'll probably be this winter simply because we're looking at the Ace of Pentacles. I don't know if you're considering moving. Now is not a good time for you, but whatever you have lost, whatever was taken, whatever's removed from your sphere and that is yours will come back. It is on its way back as we speak. So not to worry about that. It's about choices too. It's about choosing your experiences. Okay. Now, yeah, you're in a really crappy location and it's almost like the inmates have taken over the asylum, if that makes any sense at all.
Uh,
That's what I'm hearing. And what you need to do is, well, when you've got the King of Cups reversed, okay, the first thing that you need to know is anxiety, over inauthentic emotions, all right? Something that's not authentic, something that's not real. So you're living in an area where the emotional barrage that you're under right now, whatever you're living with, it's not real. Okay. It feels real. It seems real, but it's not authentic. So it's not actually technically real. So one of the best things you can do is armor yourself with that truth. Armor yourself with knowing that you're safe, knowing that you're protected, knowing that, I mean, I got dragons that hang around me, so they're a little bitchy when somebody gets a little snarpy with me, but other people it's angels, other people it's whatever. They have spirit guides, maybe an ancestor or something like that, but you have someone, you just haven't tapped into that resource. Find it, tap into it, let it protect you, because really what it is it's a part of you that you've been denying right now. Find that part, because the King of Cups technically is a warrior poet. All right. So this is what you need, the authenticity of that emotion to guard yourself. And you can do
Mm.
this. I got faith in you. So find me. I'll I'll draw that out for you. Okay.
Mhm.
I will give you the information that you need to build it. A protection charm is what I'm saying. Okay.
I have a dragon. I'll call on him and others. Cool.
Sweet. Go nuts. And I will send mine to help. How's that?
There we go. There we go. Okay, we got another question, a last question before we end the show here from Purple Moon Tarot. Real quick, first, I want to remind everybody you can go over to psychic.cafe/coffee if you want to send us some love there. Join the guild. We've been talking about that on the show here. You can read about the membership and all the goodies you get, all the benefits at psychic.cafe/guild. Remember, you can put in that coupon code. I'll put it in the chat here. Independence. Put that in where it says add coupon. Just put independence in. Doesn't have to be all capitals either. I think it works either way. It'll take another 20% off your membership. And of course, getting certified, go over to psychic.cafe/certification, which fits in with our topic for today. Getting certified is another way to help you with your readings, because it builds confidence, as well as for your clients, of course, but it's really more for us getting certified. And all the information about certification is on that page, psychic.cafe/certification. If you're not a member yet, you can get that package deal I told you about with membership and certification. Remember, on the payment screen, put in independence. You're already getting 25% off. Take another 20% off. That's right. Now, if you're already a member, go over to the private group on Psychic Cafe on the website, the private group. It's under groups. Just go to that, and in the search, just type in guild and the group will come up. And if you're a member, you have access to that group. And one of the first posts on the group is for certification, for applying. So if you're already a member, click apply. Remember to put in an independence and take another 20% off. And if you need a course, hey, you can get certification and membership in the guild, as well as my course. Go over to psychic.cafe/course to read all about it. It's 10 modules, all video, all online, all self-paced, and you get your membership and your certification included free. And you can take 20% off as well. Psychic.cafe/course. Lastly, I want to invite you to become a host like Pamela and Michelle and Ellie and Dr. Rose and everybody on the network here. And you can read about that at psychic.cafe/host. You can join us as a regular host on the network. Maybe you've always wanted to do a podcast or a YouTube show or what have you, but the learning curve is pretty steep. Well, we've been doing this for 16 years. So we'll hold your hand through it, give you all the training, and you can promote yourself, your services, and so forth on our network. Yeah, absolutely. All righty. Michelle, did you want to, or who's pulling cards for Purple Moon Tarot? Go ahead,
You.
Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay.
I'm letting you guys shine.
So for Francine, let me pull some cards real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I love that. Fellow fan of purple and the moon, Ellie
Hey, it's
and
our
Purple
website
Moon Tarot.
colors.
Mhm.
Gotta love the purple.
Okay. So the first card that I pulled is the moon card. Are you digging into your intuition? That is my first question. And I'm gonna sorry. Okay. And so when it comes to your intuition, are you digging in and are you allowing yourself to have time to really reach up to your higher self? Are you doing any kind of meditation, anything of that nature? The next card I got is the snake. So I feel like you might be biting your own self. You might be holding your own self when it comes to your intuition, your spiritual side. And so there's something that you are not seeing that you need to stop doing in order to make this better for yourself. And the way to do that is going to be to see it through the eyes of a child. Okay. I'm not like, oh, I'm just going to color everywhere. But they have this way about them that they're like the fool, right? They will jump and they will do it and they don't have the fear. So dig into your intuition, stop biting yourself and holding yourself back, and start jumping into this with an innocence that is absolutely pure for what it is you want. And so I did draw a quick tarot card just to do a clarifying, and I got the moon card.
Hmm.
Again?
Again. So I
Double
got the
down.
moon, I got the moon in the Lenormand and the moon in the tarot. And so make sure you're really looking at things clearly, because with this child card, I really feel like you are not seeing something that you need to be looking at in a whole new perspective. So
Awesome.
that's what I have for you, and I hope that is helpful.
Yeah.
And yeah, don't doubt yourself, because that is a big thing when it comes to intuition, is self-doubt.
Mm.
Definitely don't second guess yourself. Just go into it and know that you have it.
And Purple Moon Tarot is starting a YouTube channel, so we're all going to have to check it out.
Yes.
I'm going to leave you guys with fortune cookie. In
Yay.
in due time, you will be financially comfortable.
Woo!
Yeah, I went to Panda Express. And they say if you don't take a bite of your fortune cookie,
It won't work.
your
Yep.
fortune doesn't come true. So
So you better send us some of those pieces that you got left over.
I know.
Right.
It's so good. It's so good. And I hope this is true because, yeah, we wanted to become more financially comfortable and stable. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Well, thanks, Pam and Michelle, for being here and help me out, and
Yeah, thank you.
Ellie and Dan and Dr. Rose and everybody in the chat there. First name, last name, and Purple Moon Tarot. Go check out the channel. Jimmy came in. Who else was here today? Jimmy was here. Piu was here. I'm just scrolling back through. Wow, we had a lot of people pop in. That is really cool. So remember, we will be back. Now I lost it. There
Squirrel.
it is. Attachments and outcomes next Saturday. Woohoo! All righty. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.